This is the BBC World Service. It is 1400 hours Greenwich Mean Time. Here is the world news. In the test match between England and Tristan da Cunha at Lord's, England have been bowled out for 48. In reply, Tristan da Cunha were 635 for 2 at close of play. Domingo, on his first appearance in first-class cricket, is on an unbeaten 364, having been dropped 19 times by the English fielders. From the United States, it is reported that the President has decided to undergo a sex change. And that is the end of the world news. And now, here is the shipping forecast for 1400 hours Greenwich Mean Time. Dogger, southwesterly, 25 miles, fair, calm, light breeze. German Bight, southwesterly, 18 miles, fair, rising slowly, and going down slowly again. Mumbles, southeasterly, 23 miles, fair, force 2 winds, moderate precipitation. Shambles, no report received. Blotto, southwesterly, 9 miles, fair, a little bit parky, mild drizzle. Baltic Sea, just northeast of Kiel, northerly, 2 yards, violent storm force 11 expected imminently, raining cats and dogs. And that is the end of the shipping forecast. Our next programme on this frequency is a special broadcast, which is being beamed to the Galapagos Islands, Pitcairn, Tristan da Cunha and the Scilly Isles as part of our Art and Enlightenment to Remote Places series. We are presenting a wireless play, first written at the dawn of sound broadcasting, and, until its recent discovery in the attic of number 23 Acacia Avenue, Biggleswade, presumed long since lost. The play will be of particular interest to listeners because it features the well-known detective Sherlock Holmes and his companion Dr. Watson in a drama with an Imperial Russian theme and is widely believed to be based on historical fact. Some go so far as to contend that Holmes and Watson actually portrayed themselves in the broadcast. As to this, it will be for you to decide when you hear the performance, which is entitled The Adventure of the Russian Treaty, or Tsar Rarabumdie.
Our opening scene takes place at number 221B, Baker Street, the London residence of Mr. Sherlock Holmes and his friend and colleague, Dr. John Watson. There are still traces of a thick pea souper. A black, treacly odour hangs in the air, and there is a fair bit of wind about. Sure enough, Mrs. Hudson has just finished serving lunch. Holmes is lying languorously on the sofa, fingering a loaded revolver, and periodically shooting holes in the wall. Watson is sitting at his desk, making notes for yet another adventure about his friend to be published in the Strand magazine. The Adventure of the Blind Cheesemonger, a story which Holmes has already pronounced in poor taste.
Well, Watson, what is it to be today? Blind drunk or a lively lass?
I beg your pardon, Holmes?
The horse racing tips, Watson. I was interested to know whether you were going to splash out your meagre remaining resources on the one horse or the other.
What makes you think I was proposing to do anything of the kind?
My dear fellow, it is simplicity itself. When I see my old friend at lunch eagerly scanning the pages of the Sporting Life, but in particular fixed on page 3, and occasionally mouthing "giddy up" to himself, then I know that he is assessing the form of the Sussex Cup. You are a betting man in the truest sense. Thus you would not back any of the horses with low odds. That rules out most of the field in this particular case. When I couple my analysis with a close knowledge of your personal interests, then I quickly alight on either blind drunk or a lively lass from the list of runners.
Well, you are quite right.
Oh, it is nothing more than a matter of pure logical deduction. The whole process occupied my mind for no more than a nanosecond.
Amazing, Holmes.
Ah, Mrs. Hudson.
Oh, Mr. Holmes, I'm sorry if you didn't like your lunch. I thought after all the excitement of that one-legged budgerigar case you might like something special. So I went to Dr. Watson's drinks cupboard and added a nice drop of brandy to your sauce.
Mrs. Hudson, you didn't use this bottle, did you? That's part of my medical supplies. It's a powerful laxative.
Fortunately, I didn't touch the saucer. But it looks, Watson, as though you will indeed be having a run for your money this afternoon. But unless I am mistaken, I believe we have a client.
How do you know that, Holmes?
I can see him out of the window, Watson, knocking on our door.
Mr. Holmes, Mr. Holmes, there's a gentleman here wants to see you. Says it's most urgent, a matter of supreme importance.
Show him in, Mrs. Hudson. Most interesting, Watson. In the brief moments that I saw our visitor, I was able to establish that he was dressed as a clergyman and wearing a type of decoration which I happen to know is in the sole gift of Her Majesty the Queen.
The Reverend Dr. Schlesinger, sir.
Pray come in, my dear sir, and tell us what urgent business it is upon which you are sent by our gracious Queen to Sherlock Holmes.
How on earth did you know of the purpose of my business before I had uttered a single word?
Let us not trouble with that, other than saying that the breathless Dr. Schlesinger is plainly on a mission of some urgency.
Mr. Holmes, I will not waste time. You are indeed correct as to the urgency of the matter. It is indeed a most worrying affair. I am the private chaplain to Her Majesty. I have been dispatched to you because it was thought that I would be the most discreet channel of communication. It is naturally assumed, Mr. Holmes, that your absolute discretion and loyalty can be relied upon.
I think you would not be here unless it were assumed to be so.
Yes. Mr. Holmes, the Queen, the nation has need of your services.
Give me the essential details, without embellishment.
Yes. You see, the Queen embarks today on the royal yacht for a voyage to Russia to meet the Tsar. the Prime Minister will be with her. A treaty of friendship and cooperation is to be signed. It is all most important.
All this I have already heard from my brother Mycroft. This is not why you have come to consult me.
Mr. Holmes, we have in the last few hours received intelligence that the meeting between the two monarchs is to be sabotaged in some way by a sophisticated and evil criminal gang intent on destroying relations between Great Britain and Russia, and which may run the risk of bringing our two countries to the brink of war. The reports may be rumors, but the Prime Minister himself regards it as imperative that you join Her Majesty's party to help thwart any such evil designs.
I say, Holmes, it all sounds quite serious. Might disrupt the test match.
Our relationship with Russia is not my department. I fear, Dr. Schlesinger, that I cannot assist. I have in any event much pressing business on my hands at the moment. 15 cases of murder, 4 cases of blackmail, 2 cases of drunk and disorderly, and a case of rather nice claret. I suggest that you visit Brother Mycroft.
Mr. Holmes, we have it on reliable information that the leader of the criminal gang concerned is none other than Professor Moriarty.
When does the ship sail?
In 2 hours from the Pool of London.
In that case, we have no time to lose. Watson, pack a suitcase and your water wings. We are leaving forthwith. The game is afloat.
The scene now moves to the Baltic Sea and the royal yacht, the Windsor Filly. On board are Her Majesty Queen Victoria, the Prime Minister Mr. Gladstone, the Reverend Dr. Schlesinger, Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson, a full crew, and the enigmatic Russian envoy, Count Igor Blyny, together with his entirely platonic companion, the voluptuous Olga. The ship has been at sea for some days, and the weather has not been too kindly. We find the Queen, with Dr. Schlesinger in attendance, engaged in earnest conversation with the Prime Minister, Mr. Gladstone, on high matters of state.
Prime Minister, we wish you to know that we are far from amused. The state of our digestion has been seriously compromised by this appalling voyage that you have advised us to undertake. Is that not so, Dr. Schlesinger?
Yes, quite so, ma'am.
We have detested you most strongly ever since it was our misfortune that you became Prime Minister for the first time. How many times is it now?
4 times, ma'am.
Well, it is 4 times too many. We should have thought that once would be quite enough for anyone. What on earth possesses you to carry on?
Indeed, ma'am, I engage in much soul-searching on this very subject, and I can only confess that it is a strong inner urge for power and a desire to control all those around me.
Politicians, they never change. This latest frolic of yours has been an unmitigated disaster from the outset. In the first place, we have always had excellent relations with our imperial cousin the Tsar, and do not need a treaty. In the second place, no sooner do you come up with this copperminy scheme for a treaty, then we're told a criminal mastermind is planning to undermine it and pose a threat to world peace. In the third place, the voyage has been so rough that we have been suffering the effects of seasickness ever since leaving London.
Your Majesty, I do respectfully agree that conditions have not been conducive to a state of equanimity.
What are you talking about, man? We have been as sick as a parrot. Moreover, we have been singularly unimpressed by the engagements you have arranged for us at our various ports of call to date. In Oslo, we were compelled to inspect a huge ski jump. In Copenhagen, we were compelled to ride down the canals in an open-topped boat in a rainstorm. And in Stockholm, for some reason, you saw fit to advise us to spend an hour examining a large, wrecked ship.
These were items most particularly recommended by the local authorities.
Oh, were they indeed? And before we have finished with you for now, we can hardly fail to mention the purgatory inflicted by our being unable to keep the merest morsel of food down on the entire journey.
Indeed, ma'am, the voyage has been somewhat rough.
No, Prime Minister, we were talking about the standard of the cuisine on board. It is utterly disgusting. The cook deserves to be thrown overboard.
Well, Your Majesty, alas, that is just the problem. The cook did fall overboard just as we were leaving the Thames estuary. I understand that he'd been toasting Your Majesty's health rather to extremes. I do, of course, for medical reasons, have my personal pastry chef on board, but otherwise, most of the cooking has had to be entrusted to the only crewman left who claimed any general culinary expertise, which happened to be the ship's bilge hand.
Well, yes, that would explain a great deal. Dr. Schlesinger, we should like to thank you for supplying us with your excellent treatise on the kingdom of the Midianites. It has proved most excellent throne-side reading.
Thank you, ma'am. Most gratifying.
At times of tribulation on this journey, it has brought us a considerable degree of inner calm, whilst all about has been anything but. Incidentally, we've not seen Mr. Holmes today. In your capacity as discreet go-between, do you understand that he has yet uncovered anything about which we need to have concern?
No, ma'am. I'm led to understand that Mr. Holmes is confident that all is well. I believe that he and Dr. Watson are taking a quiet constitutional stroll up on deck.
Meanwhile, on another part of the ship, the great detective and his friend are taking stock.
You know, Holmes, I just can't stop thinking about that ski jump.
Really?
Oh yes, Holmes. Do you know, they told me I could take a jump.
As I recall, Watson, they told you could take a running jump. Now, listen, I have not wished to spread alarm that would reach the ears of the Queen, and I also did not wish to trouble you whilst you were still suffering that little local difficulty with your bowels. But the situation, in truth, is becoming increasingly grave. Whilst we have been at sea, I have been keeping my ear to the deck, and I do not like what I hear. I am convinced that Moriarty has planted his agents on this ship, and that a serious mischief is already brewing.
Good gracious, Holmes. Whom do you suspect?
In the first instance, I have serious concerns about the Prime Minister's personal pastry chef. He bears a strong resemblance to a known member of the Moriarty gang, who has killed many times for money.
He'd do anything for dough, Holmes?
Then there is the enigmatic Russian envoy, Count Igor Blimey. He may well not be Russian at all. He has been heard muttering in Albanian in his sleep.
Very worrying.
And as for his friend Olga, I have secretly examined her luggage. She has a trunk in her cabin full of whips, chains, handcuffs, and blindfolds.
That seems open to interpretation to me, Holmes.
But the worst is this, Watson. When we were in Stockholm, I received a telegram from Mycroft. It seems that one of the Royal Navy's new top-secret Bruce Partington submarines has been stolen, undoubtedly with the involvement of a crew from an enemy power in league with Moriarty.
Stolen? A submarine?
Just so, I fear. and the most recent reports are that it is already in the Baltic. It is armed with the very latest form of torpedo, quite capable of sinking the most heavily armoured of our ships, or indeed any Russian ship. I strongly suspect that there is a plan to attack the Russian fleet at anchor in St. Petersburg, in such a way as to cause the Russians to believe that the Royal Navy was responsible. The Queen's prospective visit will be seen by them as a smokescreen to divert attention from the attack. War will be inevitable.
Good God, Holmes. Do you really think so?
It's my deduction and I'm sticking to it. Wait, not another word. Hide here. I see the voluptuous Olga approaching. And look, she appears to be having a furtive tryst with the Prime Minister behind the deck house. The plot thickened.
Hello there, my little Prime Minister.
Oh, hello.
Is grab a granny night. Were you looking for me?
Well, as a matter of fact, I am quite pleased to see you, actually.
Oh, I am so glad.
You see, I realise we haven't known each other long, but I've come to feel through our little chats together that you're the only person who really understands me.
Oh, I'm very, very glad. Oh, William.
And when you showed me the contents of your trunk, I do admit to feeling a little intrigued.
Oh, William, if you're interested in my trunk, I have a fascinating chest that I would like to show you as well. Shall we say midnight tonight?
But what about Igor, the enigmatic Russian envoy? Is he not likely to feel a little irritated about me if he finds out?
Igor means nothing to me. I spit on him.
Oh, yes. Well, that's all right then, yes. I shall take the liberty of calling by tonight, immediately after I finish my cocoa and sponge fingers. Well, I must run along.
À bientôt, William.
Holmes, this is simply deplorable. Moriarty and his gang are threatening the security of the British nation. War may be declared at any minute, and the Prime Minister is canoodling with this Russian floozy.
Yes, Watson, there is no fathoming the mind of a politician. And undoubtedly, what we have seen greatly adds to the current dangers.
Yes. What are you going to do? Tell the Queen?
No, Watson. I think a little gin and tonic is what is called for.
Oh well, then I don't mind if I do as well.
Some days later, with Holmes plunged into the most dangerous and challenging assignment of his career, the Windsor filly is only a few hours from arrival at St. Petersburg. The Queen and her trusted chaplain are reviewing arrangements for their arrival in the Russian capital. There have been some difficulties in relation to the Prime Minister, who has not been feeling himself for some time.
Really, Dr. Schlesinger, it is too much. We are shortly to arrive in Russia on a visit of the utmost significance, and our Prime Minister has, for some days, been locked in his cabin and refusing to come out.
Yes, ma'am, it is all most awkward. He is claiming to be unwell and suffering from the effects of seasickness. However, when his steward listens at the door, all he can ever hear is deep sighing, and from time to time Mr. Gladstone can be heard muttering to himself something about being in love.
We are deeply dismayed. Our Prime Ministers are not supposed to fall in love. although they have frequently done so with themselves. As Mr. Holmes is on board, should we not consult him as to whether something needs to be done?
Your Majesty, if I may respectfully say so, I would not recommend involving Mr. Holmes in this matter of the Prime Minister. There is nothing for a detective to investigate, and fortunately, arrangements for your reception in Russia are well in hand. Should Mr. Gladstone continue to act as he has been doing, then it can be explained to our hosts that he is indisposed.
Very well, Dr. Schlesinger. We are confident that you are right. However, it would reassure us to review now the details of our welcome on arrival.
Indeed, ma'am. Your Majesty is to be met at the quayside by His Imperial Majesty the Tsar himself and a large retinue from the court. This will include Prince Downhillski and his wife, Princess Downhillskia, Prince Pushoff and his wife, Princess Pushover, and a celebrated amputee from the Crimean War, Count Legoff, who fortunately is a bachelor. And then, ma'am, there will be the politicians, Mr. Putin, Mr. Rasputin, and Mr. Disputin. And in charge of protocol overall, ma'am, on behalf of the Russian government, will be Count Tallstory. I am reliably told, ma'am, that he is an old Etonian.
An old Etonian, excellent.
Yes, ma'am. Accordingly, it can be assumed he is to a considerable extent one of us, and an important ally outside the Russian royal family, on whom we may depend and to whom it will be safe, in an atmosphere of trust, to explain our little predicaments.
Very good.
Formal proceedings on arrival will commence with greetings read out on behalf of your Majesty to the Tsar, who will then reciprocate.
Yes, very well. What happens next?
Then, ma'am, there will be a review of the entire Russian fleet, a display by hundreds of Cossacks on horseback, a military parade by 5,000 elite troops, a folkloric entertainment by 2,000 Russian serfs, a 3-hour fireworks display, a performance of Swan Lake, and a cookery demonstration.
And what do we have to offer them?
Well, ma'am, we have 3 very talented Irish ladies who can sing and tell jokes. And a small Royal Marines band.
We are glad to hear that we shall not be unduly troubling the British taxpayer. It has always been, good heavens, Mr. Gladstone, it is very good of you to grace us with your presence.
Your Majesty, I regret that I have no time to explain. I have been an utter fool, and I now regret that disaster is upon us.
Do I take it that Mrs. Gladstone will be joining us in St. Petersburg?
Your Majesty, it's the series of calamities. I fear that the treaty with Russia is doomed.
Surely you haven't forgotten your bottle of ink again.
Ma'am, it is deadly serious. Ah, Mr. Holmes, thank goodness you're here. In the first place, Count Igor Blimey, our enigmatic Russian envoy, has been found murdered in his cabin. Poisoned. Then we have had a signal from our escort vessel, HMS Daffodil. A top-secret Bruce Partington submarine has been stolen by a foreign power and is apparently somewhere near St. Petersburg, lurking with evil intent. Next, Olga, by whom I was mercilessly duped, has jumped ship with my pastry chef.
How is it possible?
Easy as pie. They have taken the ship's cutter.
They were clearly conspirators together in a fiendish plot to sabotage the Russian treaty, and have left with a confidential document that Olga must have removed from my cabin, which contains full details of the meeting between the Queen and the Tsar, together with a record of all our naval signals.
We are concerned.
There's more.
Yes?
The Royal Marines musicians. They're all drunk out of their minds.
My God, a pickled band.
May the Lord preserve them.
Mr. Gladstone, why cannot